Hey, what's up, guys? It's Courtney, your Flex Trading and Wealth Coach, here with another quick YouTube video. Today, I want to go over three stocks that I believe are in good position to move higher over the next 6 to 8 weeks that you definitely want to add to your watch list. These are stocks that are already in my portfolio. I do have some positions on some of these stocks, some existing trades going on right now. And I could potentially look to add some more to these stocks depending on what they do over the next few weeks. But I want to bring these to your attention and have some stocks that you should put on your radar as well, and some reasons that I like these stocks. So first of all, you see that I have Netflix on the screen here. So this is Netflix, ticker symbol NFLX. Right now, Netflix has got above that $1,000 mark, now trading at 1,024 as of today. It was a red day on the day, but overall, Netflix has done very well year to date. It's up almost 15% year to date. And a big reason for that is Netflix strong financial performance over the last few earnings that they've really announced. This latest earnings, they had revenue of $10.25 billion. So if we go to their financials here, this is an area that we love to check, pay attention to. We are financial fundamental traders and investors here in the Flex program. That's what we're about. But as you can see, in their last quarter, they had $10.25 billion that they did in top line revenue. That was a 16% increase year over year. And they're continuing just to grow that top line. As you can see, quarter by quarter, they're steadily increasing their top line revenue quarter by quarter, which translates to annual top line revenue increases as well. Also, down below, as we can see, they're continuing to increase their profitability as a company as well. These are $1 billion, right? $8.7 billion in net income to shareholders there on that bottom line. So this company is doing extremely, extremely well. Another reason I like Netflix is they're global, right? They continue to expand their reach not only in the US, but across the entire globe, right? In different countries. They just announced that they're doing some things with Mexico, and they are continuing just to expand their footprints globally, which is only going to lead to increased top line revenue growth, right? And then obviously a lot of the Wall Street bigwigs and analysts, they really like this stock. It's got some recent upgrades to the stock and upgrades in price target as well, as high as about $1,500 per share. So quite a ways away that we can move to get to that point, right? From a technical standpoint, some things that I'm looking at with Netflix, obviously, this is right around earnings where we had a gap up right here on the chart, right? It's had a nice little run here. It kind of did some consolidating here after the gap up, and then we got a breakout right here, hit a peak right here at around about around 1,056 per share or so. And now, as you can see with this trend line I'm drawing here, that we're in a little bit of a profit taking mode right here, right? We got it to an all-time high right here, and traders and investors, they're going to want to take some profit out of the stock, right? But we also had this bottom trend line that has formed since that gap up, right, from earnings. And that's something that I'm keeping an eye on, right? As long as we're staying in this uptrend, right, that formed from earnings, then I feel like we're in great shape. Not only that, I'll watch this, and if we get down to this level, probably around this, right around that $1,000 level, which we potentially could see that over the next day or two, right? With this stock, with investors and traders taking money out of the stock, if we break this back above this downtrend right here, I would potentially look to add to what I already have. I already have some leaps options going on that I'm planning to hold until their next earnings right around April. I believe if we look back, their next earnings is on April 16th. So I'm planning to be in these leaps options at least until that time frame. As long as everything goes well, we continue to stay in this trend right here, this bottom line trend right here. And once we break out of this temporary downtrend, right, I'll maybe consider buying some more options here, some more leaps options here to add to that position, right? I like Netflix. I think it's one of the strongest companies in the market right now. And then and something to definitely add to your watch list if you're not already in this one. I think this is a must own, but you want to make sure that you're getting it at a good price. As if you're trading this stock, you want to make sure that you're getting it at a good price. And again, if we can see it get down here back closer to this trend line right around that $1,000 level, I think that could be a good buying opportunity for Netflix, right? Next stock, I want to talk about something that had on your radar that I believe that has great potential to go higher over the next 6 to 8 weeks, going into the next earnings. We got Apple. Here's Apple, ticker symbol AAPL. Obviously, Apple, one of the most popular stocks in the market. Reason I like Apple, they also had some really good financial performance in their last Q1 fiscal year Q1 earnings. Apple reported $124.3 billion in top line revenue. So we go to their financials here on the quarter, right? If you click financials, again, this Yahoo Finance. So for those guys not familiar, Yahoo Finance. If we go to their quarterly earnings, we see that they had $124 billion in top line revenue for the quarter. That was a 4% increase year over year from the previous year. And as you can see, the stock continues to perform very well with at least the last 3 quarters where we're seeing increased top line revenue. And historically, this quarter is always, which is basically Q4. It's their fiscal Q1 year, but it's Q4 for everybody else. That is typically their best year, best quarter for Apple. As you can see, they really knocked it out of the park when it comes to that top line revenue for the quarter. Also, if we look at their annual top line revenue, right? We go to annually, we're seeing that increase. They did have a slight dip back in 2023. We've seen a recovery in 2024 back to $391 billion, right, in top line. And of course, that net income is there as well, where they are doing very well, have plenty of cash on hand as a company. That is exactly what we want to see. Apple's next earnings is April 30th. Year to date, the stock hasn't done that well year to date. It is at negative 1.83% since January. However, the stock has, if you look at the entire year, right, 12 months back, we're at about 35% increase. So the stock has had a little bit of challenges here and there. A lot has to do with some of the growth that they're seeing in China. But they are seeing a lot of great revenue growth from their services division within the company. And again, I think this is one that could continue to do well. Apple also just introduced a budget-friendly iPhone, right? That is going to be AI focused, which is going to be selling for $599, which is, you know, if you're an Apple product or Apple phone person, that could be a great, you know, something exciting for you. Me personally, I'm an Android guy, but I do like Apple from an investment standpoint. And also, there's a lot of brand loyalty with Apple, right? Apple has exceptional brand loyalty across the globe as well. And just one of those staples that we want to look at to having in our portfolio, right? From a technical standpoint, right? If we're looking at the chart here, one thing that I like to see with Apple, we did hit a dip down here back in mid-January here. And now we're in that uptrend. We had a higher low right here. So I was able to connect this bottom to this higher low right here. And we're in a nice uptrend here. Another thing I liked about Apple from a technical standpoint, if we draw a trend line from the peak right here, back in December of last year, we connected to its next highest peak, right? Which is right here. This is their earnings announcement on January 31st. And then we're drawing the bottom trend. As you can see, the stock broke above through this downtrend. And then also, this is the 50-day moving average right here. We're seeing that break above the 50-day moving average. These are two bullish signals that I really like about Apple from a technical standpoint. I'm not a super technical trader. I'm more of a fundamental trader, but I do like to follow the trend. I believe that saying, the trend is your friend. And I like to look at these trend lines and look at how this stock is performing. I did enter some leaps on Apple as well. So I do like this for leaps options going into holding into their next earnings, which again will be on April 30th of coming up here in the next couple months. So I do like this one for leaps. And then also another thing I like this is the relative strength index down below. We're trading at just above that 50 line, right about 61 on the relative strength index, which is another bullish positive sign for Apple stock. So I believe this stock has room to run. The highest it got to here back in December of last year was around 260, 258 per share. I believe with Apple, we can break above this level here, this 246, 247 level, and break into the 250s. I believe we can get back to those high 260s and potentially get to those all-time highs. There's a lot of excitement with Apple right now, with them partnering with Alibaba, with adding more AI features and things to their products. to their phones. And I believe that is going to that excitement is going to spill over into the stock, and we could potentially see the stock go on another run towards those all-time highs. So technically speaking, I like where Apple's at, and this is another one to have on your radar if you're looking for a good opportunity, something to buy hold for the next 6 to 8 weeks going into their next earnings announcement. And then finally, last stock I want to cover with you is Google, or Alphabet. Sorry, Alphabet Inc. Google, right? Ticker symbol GOOG. Today, Google is traded at 186.64. A little bit of a red day on the day. Over the last year, Google's up about 31% on the year. Not necessarily year to date since January. We are at negative 2%, but we look at the last year, right? We're up about 31%. So the stock has done well over the last year. Reason I like Google, obviously, first and foremost, we got to start with the fundamentals of the company, the financials. We always go there first. Quarterly, they had a great quarter as well. Google did $96.5 billion on the quarter, on their last quarterly announcement. That was a 12% year over year increase, right? So they're continuing to drive that top line revenue quarter by quarter. Also, we're seeing the steady growth over the last 4 quarters. 80 billion here, 84 billion, 88 billion, 96 billion. So huge jump in top line on the quarterly level. If we go to the top line revenue on an annual level, this is another thing that we love about Google, that continued increase on top line revenue on an annual basis as well, which driving performance of the stock. $350 billion for the entire year of 2024 there. And of course, that net income, right, that profitability continues to rise as well, and cash on hand for Google continues to rise as well, right? Those are reasons that we love Google. Also, not to mention, if you're looking for companies that are going to be leading in the artificial intelligence space, Alphabet, Google is one of these companies that are going to be a major player in the artificial intelligence space with the release of their Gemini 2.0 service, and also their other products and innovations around AI. So they're one of the leaders that you want to have on your radar when it comes to investing in companies that are going to be at the forefront of artificial intelligence. Also, another thing that I really like about Google is they have diversified revenue streams, right? Not just what they're known for with Google search and YouTube, but a major driver of their revenue growth is going to be their cloud business, right? Where companies are looking to host their business and the things that they do online on Google's cloud, which is a big revenue driver for Google. Last quarter, they did over $12 billion, which was a 30% increase year over year, just their cloud business alone. So they have a very diversified portfolio of services and things that they can offer to the marketplace, which makes them a very strong company, right? From a technical standpoint, what I really, really like about Google is that we've hit this kind of sell-off point from this peak here back in early part of this month. This is back in February where we hit a peak here of around about 207, 208 per share. And then we had this huge drop off right here. This is the 50-day moving average. So we're below the 50-day moving average. But one thing I like about Google at this point is it seems that we hit a little bit of a support level right here, right in this 186 range here. As you can see, it's kind of bouncing, traded sideways in this range since over the last week or two, almost 2 weeks here, where we're trading sideways, right? So that is showing us that Google may have found a support level right here in this range. And what I'm looking for to potentially get into Google with maybe some call options, some lease options going and holding it to their next earnings is a breakout above this level here, breaking out from this 188 to 190 range, right? We could potentially, if it does break out, see some resistance once we get to the 50-day moving average at 193. But I'm willing to play that and make that bet here on Google with if I did enter this with my mental stop loss, anything breaking below this 180 probably 183 area here, breaking down below, which if it breaks down below that, we could potentially see a test this 200-day moving average here. There is a gap here for you technical traders out there. There is a gap that Google could potentially fill. So I'll be watching that and kind of be cautious with this. I wouldn't enter in Google with any new positions right now, but it's something that I'm keeping on my radar for something more of a breakout to the upside. Now, if it does that, then I'm willing to jump in Google again with either shares, doing cover calls on Google, or leaps option contracts, call option contracts on Google as well. Could be my potential play right there. And again, I like this support area of where it's at. So it's just something to be patient on and to watch for have it on your watch list to see what happens over the next week or so with Google. We could see this thing break up to the upside tomorrow, or we could potentially see it break down below here. Obviously, during the earnings, Google gave some weak guidance. This is why the stock is in a little bit of a penalty box right now. But again, it did have strong earnings performance, and I believe there's a lot of good upside potential in Google. So again, I would play it either with shares where you were buying at least 100 shares or more, and you're able to do cover calls on this, or leaps options, right? That's another way that I'm looking to potentially play Google. So that's it right there. That's my breakdown. 3 stocks that I have on my watch list. A couple stocks that I'm already in right now. Again, Netflix. I really like this one to the upside, and I believe there's a lot more room to run going into April, their next earnings. Also, same thing here with Apple. Another one that I really like with their new artificial intelligence announcements and things that they have on the forefront, as well as a decent quarter for Apple. So I really like this one again for call options as well as cover calls. If you want to buy some shares on this and do some calls on this, cover calls on this and generate income, I think this is one of the better stocks to do that on right now. And then lastly, Alphabet, Google, one to have on my radar. Necessarily not in this one just yet. But if I do see that breakout up to the upside around that 188 to 190 range, then I will potentially jump in with either shares or some contracts on Google Alphabet as well. So that's it, guys. 3 stocks on my radar. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys found this helpful, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll do some more videos on this, on some things to watch, things to have on your radar as well. Let us know if you have any questions, some comments below. If you guys have your eyes on these stocks as well, or any other stocks that you're eyeballing, or if you just have some general questions about our approach and things that we like to do in the market, comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Have a good one. Peace.